Have you ever felt like people didn't like you? Well, that's okay. That's a universal feeling too. Don't be scared to express yourself. If tomorrow doesn't exist, this is it. You might have no time left, even if you're a little kid.
Yeah, and have you heard thumping under the ground near Mammoth Cave? Hey, Missy, I mean, you know, you appreciate this stuff, but our giant buddy, that's I think he's the one that told us that Mammoth Cave runs all the way up to the North Pole, you know, and
Yeah,
but yeah, George, but have you heard the thumping?
The thumping was like the certain stages of the vril. One of the
The thumping, the vrills. Yeah, that's true.
That's why.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah, that's what I heard from Scott from his experience working with thumping underground and such like that. Well, he doesn't work with it; he just experienced it. But yeah, a certain type of vril, certain age group or something like that. But yeah, the vril will start shoom 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 shoom.
Right.
That's the sound that he shows me.
Yeah, and he's told us, if you hear digging when you're underground, get out, because we do a lot of caving here in Tennessee. Cave, Lost Sea. Now, Lost Sea, about, was it 3 miles down?
7 miles down.
7.
Oh, yeah, right.
3
miles.
Yeah, below Lost Sea, there is what we call the Fountain of Youth. Tina's helped me wake up. Thanks, Tina. The Fountain of Youth. That's where a lot of Bigfoots go to vacation, and it's the algae down there that they use. It heals. It restores. You can pull your arm off and beat somebody with it down there, and they do, and put your arm back on, and it will heal. This is a topic that we never get to talk about because it's so far out there. But I know Missy's like us. She's knows a lot of stuff that she can understand this craziness. And that's a topic I always want to talk about. And there's rangers down there. They've been down there for over 30 years. I guess they were Army. And they haven't come back.
National Forest Rangers or something like
They were
that.
National Forest Rangers. Yeah, they haven't come back. They're still there, but the place has this thing where it's quiet for like 5 hours, and then it's all out hell and everything.
5 minutes.
Yeah, these glowing creatures and all, they all eat each other and slam each other around and beat each other up and all that stuff. And then you heal, and then you go through it 5 hours again of complete quietness to another 5 minutes of just total craziness. But they're still down there. There's a cave system that gets to that area. You have to microdose to even deal with this place. You have to take microdose to even get to make this journey in and out, just to show you what kind of place it is. There was one man, I think they were talking about, that actually made it down and back, and they put him up on the surface. They covered him in, because he was such a fighter, and
it killed like 2 or 2 or 3 beings that were down there. Well, not really killed, but because
you can't kill nothing.
But he was able to take 2 or 3 beings apart pretty good, right? So they respected him pretty good. So they wrapped him up with algae and put it on top of the soil, on top of the ground, in a way that he'll think that it was just a dream. And he got out of there, and that dream hit him so hard, he's like, dude, I don't want to go back to underground of anything. I just see this dude about, like, I don't know, probably 90, 70-year-old in the far back of the hills. No, he went to the city. That's where he went. I'm saying this other person, sorry, but yeah, he went to the city. He's like, I ain't never going to the woods again.
After that,
just the trip in his brain thinking. But it was actually a physical place that he went. He did go to the cave. He actually did experience
that. Is our future plan. One of these days, we are planning on getting to the ability to make that journey. It's about a 7-mile hike down to this 3-mile location up underneath that place. And it's one of our future journeys, but there's a lot of mental and a lot of other prep to get there. Yeah, we do have a
Mhm.
cave. We have, like I
So
said,
there's
we have a cave that we're coming up to that we're going to be shooting. It's the most decorated cave as far as stalagmites and stalactites you ever seen. There's an angel in this thing. I call it an angel because it's about a 15-foot, 20-foot solid white stalagmite. It looks like an angel. It's got its wings back and it's looking up in the middle of the cave. And it's a huge wet cave. You got to walk in. It's up to your knees. But what happened was this cave system was accidentally cut into when they were building a road, and it's up in the mountains, a place that we know of. It's not known. It's not publicly known, and we've been doing it. We've done it for years, but we've never shot it. So now we want to go in. We've been getting our lights ready because we want to show them this incredible cave. So that's our next adventure. We've got our equipment ready. We just eventually have to. It's kind of a little trespassing involved, so there's a lot to balance. I've been locked down on that property before, and I don't want to get locked down again. Because I mean, if you're up on that property and the owner comes home, you got to wait till he gets. You'll be sitting behind a rock for hours trying to get off the property. So we're trying to time it and get in and get the shot and get out.
Hides.
Well, let's tell them what
So Missy-
happened the other day. We'll tell you a story because
Yeah.
Scott not what did you say ET friendly, but he's had to work with some ETs on a problem
Underwater.
something to do with the mermaids and the poisoning and that kind of stuff. So, you know, and he was working with him. What was a neat story was they were up in the craft, and I don't remember what happened, but I know that he wanted off, and he said, "To hell with this." And they knew that he kind of went, that song we were singing the other day. What is it that matches that?
Rock and roll.
No,
not that one.
Tana, what's that song we were talking about? That Bigfoot song, or the song about this? That it's what this is about. Yeah. Picantina's brain. What do you think of it? But anyway, what he did was he went crazy. Oh yeah, Prince.
Let's go.
Prince. That song. You know what that song is talking about? I'll tell you what it is. That song Prince is talking about in the very beginning. We're gathered here together. We're talking about death. You understand that we have the power. We have the afterworld, right? Don't let them take you down. Let's go crazy. That song is talking about that you have free will because you have physical control of this body. You can exterminate this body and they can't do nothing to you. So that song is talking about it's just listen to the song now and look at the lyrics. You'll be holy crap, that's what it's talking about. And Scott, in his case, he was up there in the ship and something went wrong with who was there or whatever, and he didn't trust him, and he has one of those you have to kind of work out relationship, and so he threatened to, I guess he starts out punch a hole through his freaking ship. Anyway, they got down as fast as they could to get him off. Right, he went crazy, and that's what that song is talking about. He was going to I will take you out and me if you don't get me off this freaking ship now. And so that's pretty cool. So anyway,
Well, I'll just tell about why he was in the ship and such like that a little bit more because that's the main part of the story. What he said, but he went to the ship and did a successful trip to the underwaters and such like that because he had to work with some mermaids because they were communicating with him on top of the water and such, and the communication wasn't going well. So he had to get down there and actually find out where the issues are and such. So he had to work with the ET and did one successful trip down there. And then the second time, there was an extra person on the extra ET on the ship, and he was like, no. And he just like, no, we did not have that deal. No. That's where he busted through. It's like, no more deals with you guys. I'll just work with the mermaids on top of the water. But yeah.
Well, I heard that when they put Jesus in the cave and put the rock over him, that he had some visitors, maybe some Bigfoot types that came up and brought some algae and put it on, on Jesus and helped Jesus. So if anything, I like to be hanging out in that cave to see what happened. That a lot of people don't know anything about. I think that's pretty cool. I'd go there. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Too. Yeah. All right. I'd like to go back to when Esau was born. He was born red and hairy with fur all over like a garment. And I'm like, what? The more I think about that story, I believe you had Esau and what's the other kid's name?
Jacob.
Jacob. And I believe God had made a soft man and a hard man, and that we're supposed to work it out. But obviously, we still haven't got that far. I think the hard man has gone into the woods, and the soft men are still running around mucking things up. But hopefully, we'll eventually get together. But I'd like to go back and find out who Esau was, and really, because you don't hear anything about I think he was red hair too, wasn't he? Can't remember. I think he was red hair too. But anyway,
Yeah, I believe red hair covered in red.
That's like a
Garment.
evolutional species split, but they were brothers. Right? They were brothers. So it's like, I know that Scott went traveling to Australia. He went down and met Chloe, and he basically rode the back of our friend George the giant across the Pacific. Yeah, the Pacific to get down there. And then when he got down there, of course, he saw the Yahweh down in Australia. Not the Yahweh.
Russia.
No, Australia. I know, but what does Australia have? They have the whatever they got down there. Not the Yahweh.
Chloe told us.
But then he came. I remember Scott went up.
Spidey will tell us what it is in Australia. I can't think now.
Yeah, whatever the Bigfoot's called in Australia, it's a different breed. But then coming up through Russia, he saw the Yahweh, and he was like, the Yeti. Okay, so I guess the Yahweh's in Australia, and the Yeti's in Russia. And so then he came up, and he was blown away by the Yeti. I mean, you have a Bigfoot blown away by another Bigfoot. It just shows you how many types of Bigfoots there is. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, the Yowie. Australia, it's a Yowie, yeah.
The Yowies in Australia, right? And the Yowies seems to be like a lot quieter, reserved. It's interesting because we have down south in Tennessee, or down south in America, we have what we call boogers, which you could call, most people don't call them this, but they should call them small feet. They're kind of like little short dudes that run around there fast. Whereas when you get up into our area and up in Kentucky, you start getting into what we call the big feet. So you have so many different varieties of Bigfoots.
That's really cool. What do you guys know about Mothman? Because somebody said I've got Mothman DNA.
Well, I thought I've heard, but I've got people saying no, so I don't know for a fact. But I thought Mothman was a forerunner. He was seen it before the towers, 9/11. He was seen at the bridges that have fallen down. He's been seen. Now that's what I thought, but I've got people saying nope, he's not, and I'm like, okay, I might be wrong. But what do you think about Mothman?
Right.
Archangel too. He might be a type of archangel.
He's a type. Yeah, that's like what I was receiving a while ago. Was that he was like an archangel because there was several.
Well, the big reason that we believe that is because you got super chills when you got that message. I remember it because when you were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting the chills on that one." So that's why I kind of lean towards what you saw more than I do. There's someone else that told me nope. And I respect a lot of people that do readings and a lot of people that can see. I respect a lot of seers. You know what I'm saying? And but how we see things might be different just because of the way we see things.
Yeah, because the truth hit so hard. It was a shockwave through my body. It was because that's a pure archangel. That's a real angel of like what they described back in the day. What angels are. We don't know what angels are. Even humans that can think are angels, right? And with be able to work with good and be able to make good things. You could be a good angel or a bad angel just by thinking. By doing certain things. But trying to remember. He's like a real archangel. How am I going with that? Man, I'm tired.
We're tired. Our brains are slow to move. We're slow. We're the slow raisers. Our blood starts
early.
And for us, I mean, it's 11 o'clock here. It's not really super early, but our brains don't wake up till about noon, and then we shut down about 5. So we have a hillbilly day most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like a plant right now. I didn't get the sun yet. I feel like I'm still like after 6 hours and whatever 12 hours. I'm just like, where's the sun? I didn't get my activation.
There's a question from Judy, and it says, any information about what drove the indigenous population to the highest caves in the US Southwest around 700 AD? That's a very specific question.
Yeah, here you go. It's always safest to ride the dragon's back. when we have floods and resets, which probably coming up again, that's what we were told. Ride the dragon's back. Appalachian, Rocky Mountains, you go up and you get into the cave systems on the top. And that's what your protection is for. So you can see how your question is like, that's pretty cool. Because see, that confirms what we know is that this in the times of change, which the elites know that we get that I think it's Nebrew when it comes by. It's going to affect all of our waters, and you're going to have land go up, you're going to have land go down, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of like an Earth reset during that time. You know, we've been told ride the dragon's back, and so
And ride it.
yeah,
Scott saying ride it. Scott saying ride it.
ride it
Because you got to keep moving. Things are moving, you move with
to,
it.
yeah,
All right, ride the back. Yeah,
right. Ain't that cool?
and he's Scott saying for the history back then. Yes, it was like some type of forewarning. The archangels came through and like there's something coming.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the ones that felt it. Those are the archangels, right? And that's the way he's showing me. They're the one that sensed it and it's coming. So I mean, it's not like, well, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where
Sorry.
we're,
Yeah.
you know, you don't hear anybody talking about Nebrew anymore, even though, and the elites know this. They know that it's coming. There's nothing, you know, it happens so many thousand years. I think most of us know that. You just don't hear a lot of talk about what's actually going to happen and what's coming. And there's, you know, it's just a regular old, I guess you can call it a regular old reset, but it rebalances the land, rebalances, you know, it's kind of a cleaning process. It's good. It's good. But
So head for the
Mhm.
hills is what they're saying in the chat. Is that right? Head for the
Mhm.
hills?
A ride
yeah,
with the
yeah,
hills.
yeah, head for the hills, right? Ride the dragon's back.
Ride with the hills.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
So
all right,
there's a
Missy.
question from Missy, and she's asking, what do you all think of the 3-eye atlas?
Okay, Missy, you done stepped into it this time. You done stepped into it. Oh my gosh. Now Matt's been talking to someone we call Kevin. At first we thought he was a Martian. You know, green, little helmet, right? Come to find out, I guess he's a dromaden or dromaden. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let me set it up. Let me set it up so you can talk about it. Anyway, they've been surveying our galaxy. They've been a part of that 3-eye atlas, and I do think behind 3-eye atlas in the distance was probably Nibiru. For some reason, it was blocking our view of Nibiru, and also it was probably, I'm going to say, balancing the energy, because I mean, without it, Nibiru really will affect our waters a lot. So anyway, that's a side note. But anyway, Kevin has been surveying, and like he had come through, surveyed all the planets, and of course on Earth they messed up. They put their pyramids on the sides. They were supposed to put the pyramids on north and south pole, and so Earth is wobbling. Burger. So he's part of trying to get that balanced. Kevin is an engineer. He's kind of an engineer. So when you talk to him, he's more like an engineer. But he those silver balls that everybody's reporting, he's part of that project. Those are sent out to balance certain locations and balance. Go investigate. Okay, go ahead. What's those for?
Those balls were to pick up what's going on, to send out like a drone and to pull and receive certain type of information. So later, whenever they come back to the planet, they know what to do, you know, and be able to solve or redo things that they need to do for that area. Then you have interesting that you said about the pyramids, because that's what happened. But he's kind of Kevin's quite correlating that to Trump trying to do the Greenland deal. A lot of people have political thinking about it, and I understand. I'm not on neither side of it. I'm really a bystander on this, but that's a possible ordeal that they'll be doing here in the future, and having a connection with a good what do you call it? Good people that were willing to work and help for the betterment of Earth, for the people, for the innocents is what he's looking at, is the protection of the innocents, and to raise the innocents with protection for them. So that's the part where he's trying to come in, place in certain ordeals for the planet to hold solid and be able to overcome the Nibiru effect that may be coming. He's trying to stay ahead of it as far as possible, and he doesn't want to give out a time period, but he's saying um he doesn't want to give a time period. But he will say that I could tell the time period that we understand that might be something previously and from other topics, which is like 2040, 2030 to 2040 might be in effect time period for some reason. But that's for that topic. But yeah, that's yours, yeah.
What do you think about, all these artifacts that are coming out of Mexico right now, all these skulls and little things? What do you think? Are they real? What do you reckon?
Yes, Kevin, that's their stuff practically. That's their technology that they left behind. There's a lot more to be discovered, and that's why we can't really have nukes and such, like, or can't really use nukes consistently on this Earth type of deal, or to use it practically at all, practically, in emergency situations, because they need their stuff stored here on Earth because they have to retrieve that stuff again when time is due for them to grab that stuff and use it again. So start blowing stuff up, you mess up the he's talking in code too. So that's why it's kind of hard to fill him. Because he really does not want to give away certain areas. And he's so
again where he's
it's
from.
not just
Before he spelled
Kevin. No, see, Kevin, he's like originally he was part of the inner Earth or of Earth, and then he got out because there's more technology to be discovered. So they left all their technology, left the earthly technologies that worked here on Earth here, and then took what they needed out of here and to do their works into the other galaxies. And that's not a partial diosphere. That's the time period, and that's what they were working on, and that's what they're still working on is a partial diosphere. They went to this other galaxy to put on a partial diosphere and try to get that to actually work. And now they finally kind of like got it to work, I'm saying. And that's why they're coming through and doing all the checkup on each planet coming through. And they went to Mercury, got some more information from Mercury, from the people of Mercury. And then he came back through and he's passing Earth now again. It's just estimating, He's a mechanic, so he's not talking like now we're above your clouds and we're heading out. No, he's just a mechanic, so he's just in the range. Yeah, I'm overthinking.
So
again, but yeah,
the partial diosphere.
yeah.
Yeah, if you Google that one, if your AI look that one up, if you don't use the word partial, because if you put that around the Earth, the partial one, it will stabilize everything, and then it would defend us. Right? It's very powerful, ideal thought. Even AI will agree if you took in there and say, "Hey, what happens if you put a partial diosphere around the Earth?" Check, you'll do that through AI, and you'll be like, "Holy crap, that's really cool." That's kind of a program.
That's what that's what the pyramids was for. They put on the equator because they were thinking at the time was you can create an energetic full diosphere is what they were doing. They were thinking do a full diosphere. They can't. Yeah. Well, they can. But then there's going to be a drying up Earth like what they did like what I guess he's saying what they or not him. No. Okay, what the people they were working with, there's a lot of different type of people you're working with when you're doing stuff like this. So you got big operation going on, and that's what happened to Mars and Venus, and let alone the other things that happened to Maldex, the asteroid belt, the planet that used to been there. Asgard, some people calls it too. Maldex is some type of bad name, but
Maldek means ours in reptilian language.
reptilian. Yeah, he had several planets he was working on, and Andromeda was the planet that they finally finished and was successful with.
Okay.
So that's what they are working off of now.
Okay.
And now they're coming to
So they put a
our
partial
solar system,
diosphere around that planet.
and it's working.
It's working. Cool.
Yeah, there's not that much life there, and because they don't want to wreck the planet, all right? They don't want a death to the planet. They want the planet to survive and grow and be even more protected, like protecting the innocents, protect the planet, because the planet's innocent by itself, right? So that's the goal and the projection that they're trying to go for. And back then, the pyramids, they had they were standing on the pillars, and that was to draw the energy and to create a full diosphere, energetic diosphere around the earth. And then that's why it's all desert land in those areas, or in that area. Then you have what's the desert here in North America? Over there in Great Canyons. They have one over there too. And those two collided in a bad way where they both torched each other.
Oh crap.
That's what happened. They torched each other.
The Grand Canyons?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of those places that, though, they were also harvesting minerals too. And then they're like, well, let's build one of these things on the other side of the earth where no one's at practically, or there's people around. Yeah. Like today type of deal. There's people around the Grand Canyons, but they created that, and that's where the fires come from back then. God done it, right? Well, that's because that's what they kind of called their leaders, right?
Hey, Sherry.
Like Korea, or I don't know. I don't want to start naming out political things, countries that represents their presence as gods or something like that. But that's what they did.
Yeah,
back
they
then,
used
practically. That was a I don't know what you call it, but that's their power. They were getting power from that ground. They were producing a diosphere. They're beaming. They were using the pillars as a nuclear
power source,
fission power source to create some type of diosphere around the atmosphere. They were using they were using the energy of that pyramid to the atmosphere to connect to the other side of the earth, which is America, to the Grand Canyons, to that pyramid with the pillars, to create the other atmosphere, to connect those two to be one world with the energy control, manipulation of the weather and such like that. But what Kevin's telling me was that was their old technology they were learning, and they recognized, well, we can't do that to this planet no more, because this is going to be catastrophic if we continue and learn on the planet that we are living on. That's experimenting and find out. Sometimes go really bad. What they learned from Venus, Mars, and
but what was underneath
Asgard.
their pyramid? Now,
is it actually?
I remember one of the pyramids has the water line where the last flood was. It's up to the top. You could see that's where they docked to for a long time, was the top of that pyramid. I mean, because we were a water world for forever, and that's how the mermaids came about, because they were like, they never thought we'd ever going to need legs again. And they chose that evolution. That's where they're at. So that's where you get the jealousy and stuff. And that's why we have the mermaid problems, because, we do have some, they missed that evolution step, but because we did get land back eventually. The on our second part, the dark side of the moon, also the dark side of the moon, that is our major port for off shipping from Earth. That's just where they hang out. That's the safest place. you know, because I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of trade coming off of Earth. And so there's your FedEx and your UPS and all that on the outside of the other side of the dark side of the moon.
It's not supposed. Kevin's saying it's not supposed to be a bunch of humans. Those guys, they kind of like. There's good people and there's bad people that are shipping things on that side. So there's the dark market here. There's a dark market out there too. Yeah. So it's not supposed to be all doom and gloom over there. It's supposed to be like actually moving minerals, moving things that are supposed to be good for these other planets, and they get stuff and they give back what they can, what this planet could use, or certain types of technologies. But it's only during certain times because of our growth and understanding and such like that.
I got to ask Kevin a question. Did we just recently fly a ship around the moon?
You want it polar or not? That's what he said.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just a waste of money, big distraction. It never really went, did it? So I don't know.
He says there's reasons for it.
Yeah.
There's or either way thinking, he's saying.
I mean, we don't know. Every day they're like, "Hey, we found a new bug they've never recognized before." We have not even touched the surface of Earth, and we're like, "Let's go look around Mars. Let's spend all of our tax dollars, go look around the moon." And I'm like, "Well, we look at Antarctica. No, I mean, not going there." So I mean, we have some.
There.
Yeah. So we're being played to look off Earth, which is so ridiculous. Because, like you say, I would love someone to look at Kentucky. We didn't even look into King Tut land, King Tut, the key, and right there, that's where you have the.
Did you guys know that I'm supposed to be King Tut?
You're what?
I'm King Tut. Apparently, it came through a channeling with Ivan Teller. Was that one of my past lives was King Tut, Tutankhamun?
So, do you remember living in Kentucky, King Tut?
No, but now I'm going to look into that.
Right. Well, so you got right there. You've got Fort Knox, all that gold.
Right, that makes
Kentucky.
Sense.
So I think Kentucky is where King Tut used to be.
And the Jordan River used to have been somewhere in Georgia or something like that. The Jordan River is somewhere over there. We were just learning not long ago.
Well, you got all the gopher trees that come out of Florida. Now that was what they made the ark out of, and that's the only place that gopher trees crawl. And also the gopher trees crawl and gopher trees grow. And then that's where they created the Adam and Eve, the what do you call it? That place there, Eden. And that's where they had Adam basically remove those trees. That's what that whole Gulf is used to be
full of
gopher trees. And so anyway, that's some readings we got recently. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it was taken away, so now he has to deal with the hurricanes.
Yes, because those trees, those gopher trees kept storms from coming in.
They had lots of flex. That's what took out the high winds, because they had lots of flex. They're flexible.
At that time, southern Georgia and Florida never had any damage because they had those gopher trees. But anyway, they removed the gopher trees so that they could control the people again.
Like the Appalachian chestnut trees and such like that.
What's her name?
Mrs. NW, that's Judy. Yeah.
Judy. Okay. Judy, is she like reading our minds? We're going to have to watch Judy. She is plugging everything. I don't know if she's joking or not. She says just joking, but where do we find the gold?
If you guys know where the gold is, then
we know where the gold's
share
at.
With the immediate,
we do.
Friendship.
We do know where the gold's at. It's crazy that she's like, "Hey, you know where the gold's at?" I mean, when Matt was a kid, this tree told him that I'm holding a golf ball or football or basketball, softball sized nugget up in my roots.
Underneath them, inside the tree type of deal. Just that.
So we know that tree, but of course we know where it's at. But I mean, we don't, but we can't tell people this kind of stuff. Just happened to be that she pops that question in there. We'll be glad to talk about our craziness. But anyway, yeah, we know where the gold's at.
Okay, so can you still pan for gold? Can you still go down there?
Yeah. We still pan. We go down. Yeah, we go down pan for gold, and we go for we go bigfooting and gold hunting. And the last time we were down there,
the gold. What do you do with it? If you get some gold nuggets, what do you do with it then?
we melt them down and make a little ingot thingy hickey.
So can you cash that like at the bank?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
It's like $5,000.
It's almost 5,000 an ounce right
We'll
now
see.
for gold.
Wow.
There's been some, you know how it is. There's a lot going on, and it's going to get crazier, I guess. But like I said, you got to remember the elites also know that there's a reset coming. So what are they really waiting for? They've already got their bunkers ready. They're just playing us for, hey, you guys, go play on YouTube tonight while they're digging a new hole and stocking it with food while we're going to be up here trying to ride the dragon's back. But he
Right.
hey, so that Black Pyramid in Alaska, here's what I think is fascinating about it. It's, let's see, how do I say this? On this earth, we have the Greys, which manage the Reptilians. I think that's true. I think that's what people believe. And then, but who manages the Greys, right? And so that's and then what I'm trying to, where I'm leading to is that pyramid, that Black Pyramid. The reason I believe that is because when he was on that base, they guarded the Greys that guarded that pyramid.
They are guarding.
They are guarding it. And the Bigfoot's Mothman was there. The Bigfoots and a whole bunch came in, and they've been trying to get rid because they're using that pyramid. Like I said, that is the. I mean, to me, that's true. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. To me, that is what is guiding the Greys, which guides the Reptilians. And if they lose that pyramid, they lose their comms. They lose their leader. You know what I'm saying? So I keep bringing that topic. I'm surprised that.
Yeah, it's been asking the pendulum, and because I'm connected into that, I'm also connected into the Grey. So I have a ship where I'm like an overseer on the ship. So I was just asking, and it's like you're right. That pyramid anchors them into this reality. So without it, they couldn't really be here. So that's really interesting. I've not thought about that before. So it is like an overseer somehow, because these pyramids, these are ships, okay? They're not fixed in position. They can phase in and out. They're interdimensional. And I know Beverly Rhodes did do a video on Danny Henderson's channel where she was talking about it. And I went in the chat for a little bit, so I was putting my 2 cents in as well. And then everybody sent me the video afterwards because we're talking about Black Pyramids. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. But I love the connection, getting into the Zeta. I try not to talk to the Zeta too much because they just mess with me. But yeah, is that a docking station just came to mind. Docking station. So there's something about the Black Pyramid that docks technology into this realm. That's interesting. What do you think, Matt? What are you getting?
Yeah. Kevin's showing me that the Black Pyramid was made out from the asteroid belts. And Gaia, she's coming in saying these technologies is just like a plant. You know, you plant it, the fruit, you'll never expect what type of fruit you'll get from one seed, right? So why for the technology of using asteroid belts is because the openness of things that can be used for good from it. You know, like you grow an orange tree, you got a bunch of oranges, you know, it's totally different than a lemon, right? So that's the type of technology that Kevin's working with, is and many of the other ETs too, dark or light, you know, that Black Pyramid's made from the asteroid belts, you know. So that type of technology is really good, but can be used for dark energy. And that's what they're trying to keep away, is the dark energy. But
this is something I'm looking into. Because Judy's saying which Black Pyramid. We're talking about the Alaskan one right now, but I also connect into one that's like half a mile away from me here in Liverpool, and there's one, a bigger one that's in Antarctica. But right now, I usually say there's 22 on the planet, but right now there's 25 on the planet that I can tune into. But they're also linked into the Lyrans, and the Orion Syndicate, who are the bad guys, right? They like the terrorists. Yeah.
Point it down.
Interesting.
I want to say, supposedly that Stargate, whoever's got it, is using it for negative stuff. And so I don't know what you guys get on it, but to me, I think that's basically what this whole part of this war is about, is killing that negative, someone using that energy, that ley line for negativity.
Yeah. To resolve issues is to have more acknowledgement of it. So it's like the Bigfoot ordeal that's going on for the past 5-10 years now, and maybe 30, 20 plus. But more people understands that they might be actually real, more evidence, more people speaking what they experienced with less fear. People are actually exposing what's going on more and more and more. So with more clarity, you can dissolve issues really fast or faster and faster, But that's about the Stargates, more recognition towards it. More
Yeah,
people
I
recognize that
do.
it's something.
When I look at the map of Iran and Afghanistan, I am more drawn to Afghanistan. Thinking about that, but I know if Missy Hill is still in the chat, she's also a grid worker and she can tune into Stargates and things like that as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Missy gets off that.
Guy just wants to say, innocence is as small as an enzyme and as big as one too, because we're all enzymes. Protect yourself, be friends with each other, and help each other out. Every enzyme matters, no matter how small to how big.
Enzymes' lives matter.
Enzymes' lives matters.
He had heard a crack, and then he was like, "What the hell's going on?" And he tried to lay down and sleep. And then he knew there was something to do with CERN, so he ran over to CERN, checked it out. And they were doing another one of those weird parties.
Next day, I did look it up, and CERN did activate it, and it wasn't a running CERN operation. It was a colliding operation, and they actually did it at that time, about like 12 or 11 o'clock that night, and they actually ran it and hit. And I heard the spark and the bang. And it was the second time I've heard that before, because the last springtime, because this was this past fall. But
so Julie, what he did was he let's see, what'd you say her name was?
We're talking about Judy, Miss NW.
Judy. Okay. Well, Judy, what happened? So he ended up, he went, he saw, and he was like, "I'm going to throw this black light at them," and that way they were distracted. Then he grabbed the essence of the black goo they created, and then he didn't know what to do with it. And guy, he's like, "You want this?" Guy, like, "I don't want that crap." So he ended up going up in the atmosphere where he run into the galactic dragon that came in and basically, "Hey, you want this? Okay, I'll take it." So the galactic dragon took it away, the essence. So they end up having their little black goo party. They're all excited. They made them some black goo, but the essence had already been removed from it.
The harmful things that they can do with it. It's like the timeline of that black goo, the essence of it impacting this earth and causing problems. That essence took away. That part was pulled away from the black goo. So they still got it, but it's not for bad. that's
well, and that's the thing is, a lot of people get up and talking about CERN, and that's the thing is, whatever they open the portal and they bring in, I don't know, say they bring in 1,000 weird, evil energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it. They only have so much time because energy is energy, and so they will dissipate. So any of the crap they do bring into our thing will dissipate, because whatever they bring in, it only has so much energy before it dissipates. So whatever monsters, demons, or whatever you want to call them. So CERN's just a screw around place, isn't it, for real?
And that was not a dream. I did not dreamed it, by the way. This wasn't like, I was in bed for a while and I was asleep. No, I just got into bed and laid down, eyes closed, and then I heard a snap and it woke me up. My eyes opened up. I physically looked around like, well, what the heck was that? And even my little heater snapped at the same time after the snap. So it was a snap. I'm like, whoa, there's something going on right now. So I went into vision, see where that energy traced, and it went straight to CERN that they did the collision. So I went and did the black light because I'm protecting myself spiritually, because I didn't want to be pulled and taken, or however, or they could track me. I didn't want them to track me either. So that's why I came through with the black light, to blind them and confuse them or distract them. So yeah, it was actually a visionary thing. Astral travel went to it and delivered. It was, I mean, I was like, was I supposed to do this or not? I was like, I don't even understand. I'm like, does anybody else get this? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
I don't get it. I'm like the only person.
And it's really hard for us that are anchors to we're talking about frequencies now in the chat.
We're the only planet with sound.
Yeah, we're the only planet with sound.
That's why we have triangles. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
top
yeah,
of the
like
hill.
and like your people from Mars, they're used to code and they don't have sound. Your Martians don't have sounds, and they didn't have sound, so they come here. I don't know what they think about the sound here, but anyway.
That's real weird.
It's a dimension they can't physically feel or hear. They can't. It's not their dimension. It's literally a dimension that we're in. And like Bigfoots can go through different types of sound frequencies and different types of visions and stuff like that. They could manipulate a lot of things like people like that's it. People that doesn't see color, that's a dimension in their eyes. Not dementia, dimension.
Well, that's
Yeah, my
that,
ex-partner was colorblind, and we used to fight all the time about these things. But his mum was also colorblind, so to him he'd have like a brown suit, and I'm like saying, "What are you talking about? You don't have a brown suit; it's a blue suit." And we'd have fights about this because he couldn't fathom what I was saying. He couldn't fathom that dimension.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's one that's one that's been on my mind lately. Well, you know how you get stuff on your mind, and you just keep working. It's like a math problem, and that's the fact that we see 1% of 1% of the light spectrum, less than 1% of 1% of the light spectrum, and we also, they don't tell you this, probably 1% of 1% of the audio spectrum, and so we're in a very small prism. We're in a prison, right? We're in a light prison, and so what Bigfoot's do, we call it, Scott calls it radioactive. And if you go look up that song by the Firm, radioactive, you understand what they're talking about. It's going radioactive. It's when he can be standing right in front of us. And before for example, before the Miami mall incident, he told us a week before that they practice walking through the malls invisible. They're not invisible. They just are not in your visual spectrum. And so when you start thinking about dimensions, you got to understand we are looking through a teeny slit of what is actually in front of us, and it's opening up, right? They call it the veil, but it's opening it up, the dimensions as far as what we can see and what we can hear. And
A blind person can't see. Well, Jesus healed the person. What did he do? He woke him up to the other dimension by putting stuff on his eyes, clay and spit. Not really. It's it's Jesus showing me it's actually different types of things that he did instead of just like spitting on the ground, throwing stuff on his eyes. It's the awareness of himself, recognizing that he's beside somebody that can help him, and he's accepting it. And this dude's believing this new paradigm. What you believe. He's recognizing this new paradigm that can be possible. So now he can see through himself. So now he can see clearly. That's a different dimension. It's not seeing to seeing.
We got a message from Jesus the other day. Easter really is supposed to be about flipping tables, baby. Flipping tables. Tell people that one, right? Ain't that hilarious? I mean, Jesus told we get casual conversations from everywhere, out of space all the time. And we didn't know that, but yeah, Easter is supposed to be it's flipping tables going through and that's, we should be celebrating busting up that bullshit.
He's saying really it's just spring cleaning. He's going a little extra.
Okay, me?
Yeah, it's good. It's good for certain circumstances. If you have to, if you're cleaning house, sometimes you got to go full brunt, right? But then there's times that you could just, spring cleaning. Let's just play around and clean up some shit and clean up some stuff.
So that's why I'm exaggerating.
Yeah. Well, he's saying, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
It's good to say it that way, though. Yeah, clearing up some things.
Yeah, we're like so you. We could talk all day long. You do good. You've got you like I said, you have one of the more comprehensive. I mean, we started getting into this on the YouTube because we want to tell people about, hey man, just check out these crazy experiences we had. So we were rolling in the loops of the Bigfoot people, but then we found out that's a weird community because everybody's pulling for attention and fighting. And I'm like, well, this is kind of a dead horse here. And so then we started running into, I didn't believe in psychics until Matthew started, talking to trees and stuff. And I'm like, whoa. So then we started following Chloe and other people. And luckily we've been able to branch out and find open-minded people. Like I said, your channel, you cover from left to right, up to down. And so
Yeah,
you're
I'm
one of
really
you're one of the
diverse.
favorites people talk to just because you cover more, and you're not, a lot of people just close down. A lot of people just still have a lot of stuff to work through. And so that's why we really enjoy talking to you, because we can actually expound on anything that we normally can't talk on a lot of
Yeah, but
channels. I
you're a
can't. I
true
mean,
news
like even
reporter.
yeah, you're more. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. You're like you really are a news reporter. You don't know it, but you really do.
Cover
But
the whole story. There's
yeah,
a whole story to cover, and you cover it, and
yeah, you pull. That's the thing, is you pull information from people. You can cross reference everything. You can go, what about this and this, and you can go from the stars to the earth to space to time. So pyramids to, so that's what we really like.
niching the thought. That's what Guy is saying. Niching thoughts is what you're doing. It's what
my
we're all
my
doing here.
awareness is pretty limited at times. It really is, and I get a lot of mind wipes. So I rely on you guys, kind of getting what I'm talking about. Because sometimes it's hard
Yeah,
for me
same
to
with
pull
me.
a question together, and so I rely on all you guys having the memory. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
so
I rely on
random.
him too.
I'm super random.
Yeah, that's what I do. I study you, I study Chloe, I study Matthew, and I'm the kind of person that I'm very analytical, and I keep it all.
Yeah.
I have, and
Honestly, I tell
even to my
people you're a genius. That's what I tell people.
yeah. Well, what I do is I have a program in myself that I tell myself that I don't forget anything. I just put it in a junk basket until I get back to it, and I don't forget nothing, and that's because I believe.
He knows.
And I know, and I keep it. But but the thing is, with Matt, I have to tell him, remember you had a reading, and I have to remind him, because a lot of times he'll think of things and say things, and he don't remember. And so, and you could do the same thing. And I know that I study Maya from Q whatever her name is. She's
Yeah.
wonderful.
SOS
Like I said,
QHT, is it?
yeah,
Right?
QHT. I love her to
SOS
death. She's
QHT, yeah.
really puts out great
Recognize
information. But there's a whole lot
Yeah.
of
Maya. When she was working with these people, she helped me discover that when someone's like being a what is it when you're taken over by a spirit, possessed. Yeah, when you're possessed by like a Baphomet or whatever the heck it is, that's a safeguard that person put up so they don't get into thinking those things that happened to them in the past or something like that. So we build up these self entities to hide our past, right? That's what I was seeing through her shows and such like that. And I'm like, wow, there's a little bit more perspective in the perspective of paranormal and ET, or not ETs, but the Baphomet possessions and such like that. She really
Did
opens up that door and
Did you guys
clears
see?
that.
Thanks for everyone.
cool.
Thanks,
Love everybody.
Love y'all all.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank y'all. Heck yeah.
I can't figure out how to do it now. Here we go.
Have you got proof of ownership? Let's see your pink slip.
I'm not wearing one, and if I was, I wouldn't show you.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.